Imagine you walk into a coffee shop. You look up at the menu, and then, you see someone near you holding a glass.
Yeah, a glass with something very bright inside.
Right. The drink inside isn't brown, like coffee, and it isn't clear, like water. It is, well, it's bright green.
Very green. I mean, almost like bright paint.
Exactly. Have you seen this bright green drink? It is everywhere right now. You have probably seen it on social media, or maybe your friends are drinking it.
Yes, it's very popular.
It is called matcha.
Oh.
So today we are doing a deep dive into our sources to learn about it. We are figuring out what this green powder actually is, why everyone loves it, and, well, if it is actually good for your health.
That's right. Our mission is to break down the science, but don't worry, we will keep it very simple today.
So let's start with the basics. If you buy matcha in a store, you will see it is just a very fine green powder. It looks like green dust.
It does. It is a powder made from a plant. The plant has a scientific name. It is called Camellia sinensis.
Okay, Camellia sinensis. I mean, that sounds like a very rare, special plant.
Well, here's the first big surprise from our sources. It isn't a new or rare plant at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It is a very old, very common tea plant. In fact, it is the exact same plant that farmers use to make regular green tea.
Wait.
And it is the exact same plant used to make black tea.
Wait, I need to stop you right there. If black tea, regular green tea, and matcha all come from the exact same plant, why do they look and taste completely different?
That is a very good question.
I mean, black tea is dark brown. It tastes strong. But matcha is bright green and tastes sweet. How is that even possible?
Well, the answer is all about how the farmers treat the plant. It is about the process.
Okay, the process.
Right. For black tea, farmers pick the leaves and leave them out in the open air. The leaves mix with the oxygen.
See.
This process turns the leaves black, and it completely changes the flavor.
So the open air changes the tea plant into black tea. But what about matcha? If air makes it black, what makes it bright green?
For matcha, the secret isn't the air. The secret is how the plant grows before the farmers even pick the leaves. The secret is shade.
Shade? You mean keeping the plant hiding from the sun?
Yes, exactly. For several weeks before they pick the leaves, the farmers cover the tea plants. They use big, dark nets.
Oh, wow.
It is like giving the whole tea farm a giant sun umbrella.
A sun umbrella. That is interesting. So the plant is living in the dark. But how does that change the color?
Well, think about how plants survive. Plants need sunlight to make food, right?
Right.
Because there is very little sunlight under the umbrella, the plant gets hungry for light. It has to work very hard to survive.
Okay, so it works harder.
Yes. To catch every tiny drop of sun it can find, the plant makes extra green color. This green color is called chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll.
Right. That is why the leaves turn so incredibly green.
That makes perfect sense. It is trying extra hard to catch the light, so it makes more green color. But the farmers don't just pick the green leaves and put them in a bag, right?
No.
To make the powder, there must be more steps.
Yes, there are a few very important steps. First, they pick these special shade-grown leaves. Then, they quickly steam the leaves with hot water. This keeps them fresh.
Okay, so they steam them.
Yes. Next, they dry them out. And then comes a very special step. They take all the small, hard stems off the leaves.
Why do they take the stems off?
Because the stems can taste bitter. The farmers only keep the softest, sweetest parts of the leaf.
Oh, nice.
Finally, they use heavy stone wheels. They slowly grind those soft leaves. They grind them until they become that very fine, bright green powder.
Wow. That is a lot of work just for a cup of tea. It really changes how I think about it. Usually when I drink regular green tea, I put a little tea bag in hot water.
Right. A normal tea bag.
Yeah. I wait a few minutes. Then I take the tea bag out and throw it in the trash. I only drink the water.
Exactly. With normal tea, you are only drinking the flavor that the leaves leave behind in the water.
But with matcha, because it is a powder, the leaves mix completely into the water. I mean, I don't throw anything in the trash. I drink the whole leaf.
Yes. That is the biggest difference. You are consuming the entire leaf.
It makes me think of cooking. So regular green tea is like making soup by boiling vegetables and then only drinking the water. You throw the vegetables away.
Yes, good example.
But matcha is like putting those beautiful green vegetables in a blender and drinking the whole thing.
That is a great way to explain it because you get everything that is inside the leaf. The effects on your body are much stronger.
Makes sense.
And remember the sun umbrella. Because the plant grew in the shade, it built up very special chemicals inside that leaf.
Right. So let's look at what is actually inside this green powder. Because you drink the whole leaf, you get a lot of nutrients.
Yes, many nutrients.
Nutrients are the good things in food that help our body stay healthy. The sources say the shade increases phytonutrients.
That's a big word.
Let's explain it simply. Phyto just means plant. So these are special plant chemicals.
Yes, plant chemical. And we already talked about one of the most important ones, chlorophyll.
Right, the green stuff?
Exactly. That is the chemical that makes it bright green. Chlorophyll is very good for your body. But it isn't the only thing inside. We also need to talk about caffeine.
Ah, caffeine. That is the chemical that gives you energy. It is what wakes you up in the morning. People always want to know how much caffeine is in their drink.
Caffeine is very important to understand here. Because you drink the whole leaf, matcha gives you much more caffeine than a cup of regular green tea.
How much more?
Let's look at the numbers. Let's picture a standard cup.
Okay, I am picturing a normal coffee mug.
A mug of regular green tea has about 23 to 49 milligrams of caffeine.
Okay, 23 to 49.
But a mug of matcha has about 38 to 89 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh, wow. So it is definitely stronger than regular tea, almost double.
Yes, it is. But let's compare it to coffee. A standard mug of coffee has about 100 to 120 milligrams of caffeine.
Okay, I see. So matcha is stronger than tea, but it is still weaker than coffee. It sits right in the middle.
Exactly. It gives you a good, strong amount of energy, but you still need to be careful. If caffeine makes it hard for you to sleep at night, you probably shouldn't drink a big glass of matcha late in the afternoon.
That is very good advice.
Yeah.
But wait, I have a question about this energy. If matcha has that much caffeine, won't it make you feel nervous?
What do you mean?
You know, sometimes if you drink too much coffee, your hands shake, your heart beats fast, you feel a little stressed. Does matcha do that?
That is a really smart question. And the answer is actually no, it usually won't make you feel nervous.
Really? Why not?
This is because of another special plant chemical inside the leaf. It is an amino acid called L-theanine.
L-theanine. That's another science word. How does L-theanine work?
L-theanine helps your brain relax. It makes you feel calm. It actually lowers stress and anxiety.
Wait, so matcha has caffeine, which wakes you up and gives you energy, but it also has L-theanine, which calms you down.
Yes.
Isn't that fighting against each other?
It sounds like they would fight, but they actually work perfectly together as a team. The L-theanine changes how your body uses the caffeine.
How so?
Usually coffee hits your body all at once. You get a big spike of energy, and then you feel tired later. But L-theanine slows that process down.
So it smooths it out.
Yes. The L-theanine mixes with the caffeine to create a very special feeling. People call it calm energy.
Calm energy.
Right. It helps you focus your mind. It helps you pay attention to your work, but you don't feel stressed, fast, or shaky.
Calm energy. I really like how that sounds. It's like waking up, but without the panic. You can just focus.
Exactly.
Okay, so we know it gives you calm energy. But what else does it do to the human body? People on the internet say matcha is like a magic medicine. Is it really that healthy, or is that just marketing?
Well, let's look closely at the science from our sources. Matcha has a very high level of something called antioxidants.
Let's stop and explain that word, because antioxidant is a big word we hear a lot. How can we explain it simply?
Think of your body like a car. Over time, a car can get rust on it from the rain and dirt.
Right.
The rust damages the metal on the car. Inside your body, there are bad molecules called free radicals. They act like rust.
Oh, I see.
They damage your cells. This damage can make you sick or it can make you age faster. This rusting process is called oxidative stress.
Okay, so the free radicals are like the dangerous rust on the car.
Yeah.
And the bad rust comes from things like pollution, stress, or bad food.
Yes. And antioxidants are the cleaners. They are tiny helpers in your body. They clean off the rust.
The cleaners are like that.
They protect your cells from getting damaged. Because you're drinking the whole leaf of the shade-grown plant, matcha is completely full of these tiny helpers.
That is a great way to picture it. The tiny helpers clean the rust off your cells. And our sources say matcha has a very special kind of tiny helper. They're called catechins.
Yes, catechins. They are very powerful antioxidants. And because matcha is a whole leaf powder, it has many more catechins than regular green tea.
So what do these catechins actually do for our health? Do we have proof?
Studies show they can do many good things. They can help your heart stay strong. They can lower your bad cholesterol, which keeps your blood moving well.
That's great. And I noticed the sources also mentioned something very funny. Bad breath.
Yes. The catechins in matcha can actually stop the bacteria in your mouth that cause bad breath. In one study, researchers found that matcha was better at fighting bad breath than chewing gum or breath mints.
Wait, it beats a breath mint?
Yes, it does.
I didn't see that coming.
Ha!
That is amazing. So it helps your heart, it fights cell damage, it gives you calm energy, and it gives you fresh breath. This sounds absolutely perfect, but is there a catch? What is the bad news?
There is a catch, and it is very important to talk about. The catch is about the scientific research. There are many, many studies about regular green tea. We know for a fact that regular green tea helps with weight loss and blood pressure.
Okay.
But there are very few studies about humans drinking matcha.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? How many studies are there?
One big scientific review found only about 5 main studies where they actually gave matcha to humans to test the health effects over time.
Only 5 studies. That is not a lot of proof.
No, it isn't. Human studies are very expensive and take a lot of time. Now, because matcha comes from the exact same plant as regular green tea, scientists believe it probably has the exact same health benefits.
That makes sense.
In fact, because you drink the whole leaf, it is logical to think it might be even better for you. But in the science world, we still need more research to be 100% sure.
That is fair. So we know regular green tea is very good for you. We strongly think matcha is also very good for you, maybe better.
Yeah,
But we just need more time and testing to prove it perfectly.
exactly.
Okay, well, I have another question about health. Because matcha is so popular right now, I see it everywhere in the bakery.
Oh, yes.
If I go to a store and buy a giant sweet green matcha cake or a green donut covered in sugar, is that a healthy choice? Because it has the healthy green powder inside it.
I have a very clear warning for you about this. The answer is absolutely no. Oh, no. I was really hoping he would say yes to the green donut.
I am sorry to ruin the fun. Eating a sugary cake is not the same as drinking tea. When you add lots of sugar, butter, and fat to the powder, you take away the health benefits.
Ah,
The bad effects of the sugar cancel out the good effects of the plant.
that makes sense. Sugar is still sugar, even if it is painted bright green.
And there is another big problem with baking it. Remember those tiny helpers, the antioxidants?
Yeah, the cleaners.
Right. They are very sensitive to heat. They hate high heat. If you put matcha inside a very hot oven to bake a cake, the high heat actually destroys the healthy parts of the plant.
So the hot oven kills the tiny helpers. Okay, lesson learned. No matcha donuts for health. A donut is just a sweet treat.
Right. If you want the real health benefits, you need to prepare it the right way.
Well, because high heat destroys those tiny antioxidant helpers, the way you make matcha at home is incredibly important. You can't just boil it like regular tea.
Definitely not. So let's talk about practical advice for your daily life. If I want to make this at home, how do I do it?
First, you have to buy the powder. When you look online or in a store, you will see 3 different grades. A grade is just a level of quality.
Right. Let's break down the 3 levels. What is the top one?
The best, most expensive level is called ceremonial grade. These are the finest, youngest, sweetest leaves from the very top of the plant. This is the best grade for drinking pure tea with water.
Ceremonial grade.
No.
Got it. So if ceremonial is the best one for drinking pure, there must be a cheaper one just for mixing, right?
Yes, but there is a middle step first. The next level down is called premium grade.
Premium.
It is still very good quality, but not quite as sweet. It is great for everyday drinking, maybe if you want to mix it with milk.
Okay, and the last one.
The cheapest level is called cooking grade or culinary grade. The leaves are older and more bitter. This one is best if you are going to use it for baking or mixing into strong food. You don't want to drink this one with just water.
That is easy to remember. Now, let's imagine I bought my ceremonial powder. I'm standing in my kitchen. How do I make the tea? You said earlier I don't use a tea bag.
No tea bags at all. All you need is a mug and some hot water. About 8 to 12 ounces of water is perfect. But remember, do not use boiling water.
Why not?
Boiling water is too hot and will ruin the healthy parts. Use hot water, but not boiling.
Hot, but not boiling. Okay, I got it.
You put 1 or 2 small scoops of the dry green powder into your mug. Then you pour the hot water over the powder. Now, this is the fun part. You have to mix it.
Okay.
But you don't just use a normal metal spoon. People use a special whisk. A whisk is a tool used for mixing things quickly. The traditional matcha whisk is made of bamboo wood.
Oh, I have seen those in coffee shops. They look like little wooden shaving brushes.
Yes, exactly. You use the bamboo whisk to mix the water and the powder very fast. You mix it back and forth, like drawing the letter M or W in your cup.
So you just go back and forth.
You do this very fast until the drink has a lot of small bubbles on top. It should look very frothy and creamy.
Like the lovely foam on top of a cappuccino.
Exactly. When you see that thick layer of bubbles, it is ready to drink. You can drink it hot, or if it is a hot summer day, you can pour it over ice. You can even add warm milk to make a matcha latte.
That sounds delicious and easy.
Mm.
But what if someone doesn't like the taste of tea? Are there other ways to use the powder without destroying the health benefits in an oven?
Yes, there are many fun ways to use it without heat. You can put a scoop into a blender with fruit to make a morning smoothie. You can mix it into your yogurt or oatmeal for breakfast.
Ooh, I saw one idea in our sources that I really loved. You can sprinkle the dry green powder on plain popcorn.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try that. It is a fun, simple way to try it. You don't need a special bamboo brush or a fancy cup. You just shake it on your movie snack.
That is a great idea. Just remember one final rule for your kitchen. When you open your box or bag of matcha, it can lose its fresh taste quickly. Light and air are the enemies of the powder.
So how do we stop the light and air?
You should keep the powder in a closed, dark container. And you should put that container in the refrigerator. If you keep it cold, it will stay fresh and bright green for about 2 months.
Keep it dark and keep it cold.
Got it. Well, we have covered so much ground today. Let's do a quick summary of what we learned.
Good idea.
We learned that matcha is a special green powder. It isn't a new plant. It is the exact same tea plant as black or green tea. But the farmers grow it under a dark sun umbrella in the shade.
Yes. And because it grows in the dark, it creates extra chlorophyll and sweet flavors. And because you drink the whole ground-up leaf, not just the water, you get all of those powerful nutrients.
Right. It gives you calm energy because it mixes caffeine with L-theanine, which relaxes your brain and stops the nervous shaking. It is full of tiny helpers, the antioxidants, that clean the rust off your cells and protect your body from damage.
Exactly.
But we have to remember not to ruin it with too much bad sugar or high heat in the oven.
That is a perfect summary of everything we discussed. Well, before we say goodbye, I want to ask you something. What is your final thought for today? What should we keep thinking about after we finish this deep dive?
I keep thinking about the sun umbrella. It is such a simple idea, right? Just giving a plant some shade from the sun.
Yeah.
But that one simple change alters the plant's chemistry completely. It creates calm energy. It creates powerful antioxidants. It makes me wonder what other hidden superpowers are waiting in the everyday plants around us. Maybe there are other plants in the world just waiting for the right growing conditions to be unlocked.
Wow. That is a beautiful thought. Just a little change in the environment can unlock a plant's hidden superpower. So the next time you walk into a coffee shop and you see someone holding a glass of that bright green drink, you won't have to wonder what it is. You will know the secret of the shade-grown leaf.
Thank you for exploring this with us today.
Yes. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you learned something new. Keep asking questions and keep exploring. We will see you next time.